going to make a model which rotates. You take a A4 size sheet of paper and first double this up. Now this is the doubled sheet, and then you fold a triangle in this, and you can see this small rectangular strip, and this strip you tear off. We tear off this little strip, and if we open this paper, we will find that we've got two squares into tandem, or we can say that we've got a rectangle where the length is double that of the width. First you fold a midline along the length, and then you shut both the doors. If you do this, you get a kind of a doubled up parallel strip. This is the kind of thing which you get. And you've got to fold the strip into 8 equal parts. How do you do this? You take both the edges and you fold them to the midline, and this is how you divide the strip into quarters. Now the strip is divided into 4 equal parts. Take the edges and fold them to the quarter line. Now these are two quarters. Do the same thing on the other end. Now how do you find the midpoints of these quadrants? Now this is quite easy. You shut one end and keep the other end next to it. Now this is called as modular folding, and this enables you repeat the same on the other end, shut one door and keep the other edge onto it, and this is how you divide the middle quadrants into half. If you open this, you would find that you are able to divide this strip into 8 equal parts. Now this is the open end of this flexigon, right? We're going to keep this on the top and fold this into half. If we fold this into half, so that these open ends are exposed on both the sides, we've got to draw a few patterns on this. And the patterns are quite simple. First, you mark out all the 4 middle points of this rectangle and you join them together. If you join all the 4 midpoints, you will get a diamond shape, or you will see a rhombus. And then you join the opposite corners or the 2 diagonals. And this is the second diagonal. Now this pattern is quite easy to remember. This looks like an horoscope, which is very deeply etched into our minds. So we actually don't need to remember this. It's already there in our minds. And this is on one side. On the other side, you make a similar pattern, another kind of horoscope. Once again, you take the middle points, join all the 4 midpoints. This gives you a diamond shape or a rhombus, and then the 2 diagonals or a crisscross. If you open this up, you would find that you've made certain kinds of patterns here. Well, I'm just going to mark the 2 midpoints there. You can see there are 10 crisscrosses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along one direction and 5 more along the other direction. Now with the help of the scale, you've got to crease these lines very carefully. This is number 1. This is number 2. The more accurately we crease them, the better would our flexigon rotate. It's a fairly sophisticated paper model, and all depends upon how accurately you fold them. If you see at the back, you would find there are 5 slant lines. We need to make 5 more to complete a model. And this is number 1. This is number 2. You need to keep the scale exactly on the points. And crease it. Number 3, number 4, and this is the last fold. All the markings which we had made have now been converted into creases. This is a very sophisticated model which actually rotates. So we need to make these creases slightly sharper. So now with our nails, we just recrease them to make them sharper. And you can see that there would be a difference between one side and the other side. One side is much better creased. And this is the same thing which we do on the other side. Now this is the difficult part, to get these creases right. Once you get this, it's very simple now. We fold all these 8 sectors. Now this is the kind of model which we have got. We had 8 sectors, and what we'll do now is slightly more than one sector. This is one sector which is going to cut off. A little, 1 1/4 pieces we cut off. This is 3/4 left. We take the small piece, and there is a pocket on the other end, and we tuck it in. We insert this 3/4 piece into this pocket. Now 1 1/4 piece we actually cut, and this 3/4 we've been able to tuck in. So we've got rid of 2 pieces essentially, and what remain are 6, and they make a very lovely prism or a rooftop. It's a triangular rooftop. And if you see carefully, you would find there are these half diamonds on all the edges, and we fold these half diamonds inside. Now this is like a lock. If I pull this, it doesn't come out. Fold the half diamonds in the second sector, and lastly in the third sector. Now this model looks like basically like a flower with 3 petals. You can see these 3 petals, and I fold them inwards, and the same thing at the bottom. We started with 2 squares, and this is where we have come to, and if I just push them further down, you can see that the flexigon is almost ready now. It's ready for rotation, and we can just keep rotating this model. If you rotate it a couple of times, you will find that all the creases have set in. And having made this, you can draw pictures on this. Science can be made alive by making a flexigon model